Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, May 2, 6:22 a.m. A little bit late, only because I really didn't want to do this, but I'm kind of being forced to. It's like The Godfather Part 3 with Al Pacino. They keep pulling me back in. Futures ramped up overnight, right around 8 o'clock, I believe it was. Let me go back because we're going to look here anyway. Yeah, it was sometime around 8. I'll show you in a little bit. China said it's evaluating trade talks with the U.S., boosting optimism that tariff tensions will tamp down. And that's what we popped on. Anyway, I have you on Financial Juice here anyway because today is the jobs report. Jobs report comes out at 8:30 in 2 hours, and I have no idea what the jobs report is. However, all the economic data has been complete and total shit for the better part of 2 months, especially since the tariffs kicked in. So anyway, I will bring you back onto our spreadsheet here, or actually I'll bring you through. Yesterday, I emailed you out late in the afternoon, Thursday, or no, this is yesterday's email, talking about Thursday, May 1, Apple, Amazon, and again, talking about 7 green closes. SPX had 7 back in November, 8 back in August after the yen apocalypse, 7 July 4, 6 January 2024. I went back a little bit further, and I found 8 and 8. One was in 2021, and there was another 8 in 2019. And I'm just not going back further. I did find an article trying to do some research that there had been 40 times in the history of the S&P 500 where it closed green 9 days in a row. So, like I said before, it's not illegal. There's nothing illegal about it. And like I mentioned to you before, and as I did yesterday with 5638, 5651 being your FOMO bullish Fibonacci cluster, your risk starts at 5645, 5640, and 250. Hey, who in the world is going to complain about 100%? Nobody. And yeah, when we were up there at 56, 58, 91, you probably could have got a little bit better than 250. But who cares? 100% on your money. Plus 1% day doesn't make a difference, doesn't ring into anything. But you do have your 8 green closes in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 close above the previous close. Now, we have closed below the open 3 times during this. QQQ has had 2 red closes, neither of them for even a point. Fractionally red, 0.15, 0.06. IWM had 1 red close. That was back on April 30th, a couple days ago. Minus 1.23. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A red close, green yesterday. The IWM is where all of the shift has gone into today. And I'll bring you into that in a couple seconds. But again, your QQQ, September 19th, 525 calls, once again, are up 100%. They were up 100% before. They're up 100% again yesterday. And this is why I sent to you your 8 closes warning, because, 8 closes, all right? So we're here into a green close, number 8. This is what we're looking at, and this is where you are, so I can give you an idea and also bring you on to the daily chart, your basic standard daily, so you can see not only are we overbought, but where we are as far as the you are here, so you can visualize it a little bit better. But yeah, what I was talking about there again, because that's where we were at the time, 5637, right before we had the sell down into the end of the day. 5645, 5640s, they were 250 then, they're 250 now. So I'm done with this, and I'll bring you onto the charts, and I will leave you really quick, because again, this is where you are. You are right here at this big decision-making point, 5638.73. Right on it, smack on it. Bring you into where we have been counting on this bullish wave to the upside. Don't have any kind of confirmation what this is right here, but from what I have been counting, it's either ABC, where C equals A, just a little bit higher than where we are, or we have our wave 5 of our wave 3, and we're due to get our wave 4, and then we will start to move. Or actually, I'm sorry, this is our wave 5 of our first wave of wave 3. We'll get our little dip, and that dip will be bought. And why I say that dip will be bought is because, once again, bringing you back to what has been working so religiously well, has been that Fibonacci spiral. You know, April 15th, we knew that we were getting a fucking drop down there. Bam, it worked. Everything worked. Well, the next one, the May 19th, is where we're due to get our high. And what is May 19th? Well, the new moon window is closing yesterday. It's closed yesterday. And the full moon comes on May 13th. Now, May 13th, I don't have the calendar on that chart there, but May 13th happens to be a Tuesday. So we have 14, 15, 16 coming after it. And that pivot, like I shared over on the spreadsheet, which it's been working pretty damn well, May 19th is where we should be looking for a high. So it will be a dip that will be getting bought. So anyway, that's where we're at. Looking for a red close, simply that. The new moon, again, I want to remove this being a new moon low, but I can't do that as of yet. And I'm still sticking with my view that we have a new moon high and we should be getting very similar to all your other new moons where you have a major pivot in play, a move. And we've been expecting a move to the downside so that we have a dip that we can buy. Come into our ES, and again, this is showing you last night. Here we have your earnings right coming out right at the end of the day. Here's your sell-off. Here's your earnings with Apple, Amazon. And then here is where the news came out around 8 o'clock that China's considering, being a better tariff friend, which is complete fucking bullshit. But here we are. We're back up here again. And again, where we're at the 61.8 retracement of the entire drop, which again fits very, very nicely for a bullish or bearish bounce off of the bottom. And from here, we should start to see at least an opportunity for a dip. As you can see here, the dip that came last night, right to the 50-day moving average, right to the 50-day moving average on the ES. And that's what we're still looking at. Again, 3 red months in a row. Red already for the month of May. Again, looking for there to be a dip to be bought and then to be progressively long as we go into the summer. Over on the QQQ, 1, 2, 3, 4 dips, 4 gaps that we've created over here since the April 21 bottom. And here we are pushing right on to that ABCB top, right up there at 494. So you've got fractional upside with that big 487 that we hit yesterday, and we're due to get a dip. The dip should not take us down too much lower than around the low 460s. That should be about all that we get. Dow Jones, still weak, extremely weak. And here you have the IWM, which I can go ahead and change this now because this was our gap 197.67 from that 202.66 from back on the tariff discussion. That's what we filled yesterday. And here we are overnight with the sell down and then the big kaboom overnight with everybody rolling into the IWM, which coincidentally, again, the 50-day moving average happening to be exactly where we went to overnight and now slowly fading back down into that 197 area with 195.98 still minus 20% from your all-time highs. So that's what we've got. I've got the same trade as yesterday in the email yesterday, in the email today, in the chat room from a couple hours ago. And it's not that I'm have any kind of, attitude or aggression about this. It's just simply that it's getting a little bit fucking boring. And it's been a hell of a long week already with everything that's been going on, with all the earnings coming out. I got rushed to the fucking hospital. I got an enormous amount of family that are here for the weekend. And we're still looking just to get a dip that we can buy so that we can be heading into the middle of May. But we need to get that dip. And getting that dip starting to get a little bit agitating. So 8 closes in a row that are green above the previous day's close. Looking at 56.04 with your 50-day moving average being well below 56.04. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy everything you're going to do. And don't forget to pay it forward.
Boom!